In case if anyone doesn't know, Mahershala Ali's Blade movie has been delayed indefinitely. It was removed from the 2025 release calendar altogether. Disney replaced Blade with the latest Predator movie, Predator Badlands, on the release schedule. So instead of the MCU's Blade movie coming out November 7th, 2025, Predator Badlands is now scheduled to come out November 7th, 2025. There were rumors right after Blade was removed from the release calendar that it wasn't shelved completely, but I decided not to jump on them at the time, because even the fan base was treating these rumors as quote unquote, "I'll believe it when I see it." And personally, I don't want to turn it into the next Mike Zero or the next Doomcock by reporting on baseless rumors that, and for all intents and purposes, may not ever come to fruition. However, Kevin Feige himself has now come out and said that Mahershala Ali's Blade movie has not been shelved despite the rumor and speculation. So we're getting it right from the horse's mouth himself. In an interview with Omelette, Kevin Feige said, quote, "Rest assured, whenever we change direction with the project or are trying to understand how it fits into our agenda, we inform the public. You guys are up to date with what's going on, but I can say that the character will indeed arrive in the MCU," end quote. Even if the MCU Blade movie is still in production and they push it back to release after Avengers Secret Wars in 2027, this movie is still a very, very bad idea for Marvel Studios and Disney to release. And I've distilled it down to three main reasons. I believe I touched on these reasons in my initial video about Blade being removed from the 2025 release calendar entirely. And if I did, I want to go over them again because I want to hammer the point home as to why the MCU Blade movie is such a bad idea. And the first reason why the Blade movie is now a bad idea is because of the troubled production history of the movie. Okay, the MCU Blade movie was announced all the way back in 2019 at San Diego Comic-Con and Hall H when they had, Mahershala Ali come out on stage and he's the new Blade. Okay, you had that back in 2019. Obviously, nothing happened over 2020 because of COVID. And then 2021 rolls around and they get a director attached and a writer. And I think I went over this in my 2025 release calendar video. There have been like 4 or 5 screenwriters that were attached to the Blade movie at one point that have now left. There were 2 separate directors that were attached and left, and there is no third. I don't remember if there was any news of a third director, but anyway, how this all ties into why it's such a bad idea to release the Blade movie is because now Disney and Marvel Studios run the risk of the production history of the MCU Blade movie being more interesting than the final movie itself. If they want to make a documentary like Hearts of Darkness, which was the behind the scenes documentary all about the making of the movie Apocalypse Now, and it won a bunch of awards back in the early 90s, because we finally got to see truly the troubled production history that the movie Apocalypse Now went through. But again, you now run the risk of the production history of the movie is now more interesting than what you could ever put to screen. So why are you going to run the risk of now going through the trouble of producing the movie, because now expectations are so sky high because this movie was announced all the way back in 2019 and it has just been production delay after production delay. Screenwriter gets attached, screenwriter gets fired, screenwriter gets attached, screenwriter gets fired, director gets attached, director leaves, new director comes in, new director leaves. Why go through the trouble? Why not just keep it as, it was a bad idea, it didn't come to fruition, and we're just gonna leave it be. Okay, the second reason why the MCU Blade movie is a bad idea is because now Mahershala Ali is now 50 years old. Okay, when they cast Mahershala Ali as Blade, he was already 45, which already in the world of action movies is on the older end. But okay, depending on when they get the Blade movie into production and when it releases, theoretically Mahershala Ali can play Blade for at least a decade, but now he's approaching 50. And remember, Wesley Snipes wanted to do a fourth Blade movie. This was right after he got out of prison for tax evasion, and everyone at the time said that, you know, what we're saying, this was back, I believe, in 2013 is when he got out. Is when he got out of prison and wanted to do Blade 4. Everyone was saying at the time, no, it wouldn't work because Wesley Snipes is too old. And Wesley Snipes was only in his early 50s when he wanted to come back and play Blade again in a fourth Blade movie. Now Mahershala Ali is only within like a couple of years of being the same age Wesley Snipes was when Wesley Snipes wanted to return to the role, but Marvel Studios, Disney, and even the audience were saying, no, Wesley Snipes is too old. He can't play Blade again. Well, now your main star is a 50-year-old man, so you don't want Wesley Snipes back because he's too old, but you're excited for Mahershala Ali despite him being close to the same age as Wesley Snipes was when he wanted to do Blade 4. Just let that, just food for thought there. And the third and final reason why the MCU Blade movie should be dead is very, very simple. Wesley Snipes is Blade. That is the one hurdle that you are not going to get around. And the perfect example of that is look at Deadpool and Wolverine with all the cameos. How many people were legitimately excited that Wesley Snipes returned as Blade? And I know that he set like a new record. I think was like the oldest actor to portray a superhero on screen. It was I don't remember, but I know that Wesley Snipes did set a record for returning to Deadpool and Wolverine as Blade. And that's what everyone didn't want spoiled. They didn't want all the cameos spoiled. Okay, you got Jennifer Garner back as Elektra. Okay, whatever. Okay, you got Channing Tatum in there as Gambit. Well, the Gambit movie with Channing Tatum was in production for quite a long time. It was still like news of the production was still going in like 2017, and then Disney bought out Fox, and then the Gambit movie died. So okay, Channing Tatum's Gambit, fine, that's a what could have been, but then in walks Wesley Snipes as Blade. Now we finally get Blade back on the big screen. Why would you ruin that moment with, we brought back Blade, we brought back Wesley Snipes, but now here is Mahershala Ali's Blade movie that has been in production hell for years and years and years on end. Why ruin the moment? Why ruin the moment from Deadpool and Wolverine? Why ruin the excitement? Because I guarantee you there is probably more demand now for an old man Blade movie in the style of Logan than there is for Mahershala Ali's Blade movie. Because if Marvel were still going in gung-ho that Mahershala Ali is Blade, why would they go through the trouble of bringing back Wesley Snipes? I don't care that Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy had more creative control over Deadpool and Wolverine. Disney and Marvel Studios still okayed the idea to bring back Wesley Snipes as Blade. So again, if you're going all in on this new guy, this Mahershala Ali, if you're going all in that this guy is now Blade, why bring back the original, and why run the risk that now fans are going to demand an old man Blade movie in the style of Logan, because theoretically that would probably make more money at this point than Mahershala Ali's Blade movie. And I know I've dragged this video out longer than probably I needed to go, so I'm going to end the video off with this. And personally, I cannot think of a better way to end off this video than with this iconic moment from Deadpool and Wolverine.
There's only been one Blade. There's only ever going to be one Blade.